You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got a Days of Our Lives comings and goings, whodunit murder mystery, someone's going to die sort of thing happening. So there's a spoiler / rumor, a spoomer, in other words, that someone is going to die the week of July 24th. And given the current storylines, if this spoomer pans out to be true, and it is from a pretty credible source, it seems likely it would be tied to this Abe Carver missing person story. We are going to dig into this and tell you the 4 people that we think are the possible candidates that for this person that is marked for death on Days of Our Lives. But if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives spoilers, news, and more. So based on the premise that someone is going to die on Days in the next couple of weeks, we're looking at 4 in particular tied to this front burner storyline. Let's start with Abe Carver. So I will say just up front, we see Abe as the least likely to die. He's already been assumed dead and he had a funeral, so it would kind of be redundant to kill him again and him have another funeral. So, you know, Abe is a legacy character. He's a front burner character. A lot of fans really like him. So, you know, he should survive. On Thursday, July 27th, official day spoilers say that Abe wakes up. So he seems fine. And, oh, by the way, so this death info came from Days Cafe. They do pretty well. They seem to be getting some legit info. That doesn't always pan out. I will say that. So don't string me up if nobody dies. Don't kill me if no one dies on Days of Our Lives. Although, if I were on Days of Our Lives and you did kill me, I would just have Dr. Rolf resurrect me and I'd be, you know, an amnesiac for a while. All right. So the second person that possibly could die is the perpetrator of all this nonsense. And that is Whitley King. This nutty nurse kidnapped and drugged Abe. And she's definitely one to consider dying because I definitely think the character canvas can do without her. She might die at her own hands, Abe's hands, or by the police, or maybe the Black Patch guys. I mean, so things are going to rock on with this Abe missing story all the way from this whole week, July 17th through 21st. And in addition to Abe being missing, now Lani is missing. And that's because Whitley has both of them. But then by Friday, July 21st, it looks like Jerry Prentiss, the actor pretending to be Theo, is going to spill the beans to John and Steve. And then by Monday, July 24th, Whitley has a mental break. So will it be Whitley that dies? Well, unfortunately, it seems not. Marlena tells Kayla this week, the week of July 17th, that Whitley was once her patient. She's a mental patient. But then by Thursday, July 27th, we see Marlena visiting Whitley. And I presume this is at the hospital or Bayview. So because we have a spoiler for her, she clearly survived this ordeal. So the next big question, because of specific official spoilers for the next 2 weeks, we have to ask, is Lani Price dead meat? So the spoilers don't sound good for Lani's fate at all. So she stumbled on Friday upon her dad Abe at Crazy Whitley's place. And then in the new promo, and I believe that we're going to see these scenes on Monday, Whitley walks in and confronts her and, you know, who the heck are you? And Lani promises her that she's her worst nightmare. However, the opposite is probably going to be true. I don't think Lani has any idea who she's dealing with. She's looking at this frumpy middle-aged woman, not very alarmed, but Whitley has vials of sedative I think she keeps at the ready, and I do think that she is going to drug Lani and then hold both of them. So by the end of this week, on Friday, July 21st, we have Lani still missing, and spoilers for the following week are even more dire for her. So the same day that Whitley has a mental break, which is Monday, July 24th, we see Rafe and Jada finding Lani, and she's lifeless. Definitely scary considering this death spoiler. Now, if they revive her and bring her back to life with like CPR or something, does that still count as a death? Because if that's what days means by this death, then that's a big steamy pile of hoo-ha. So the question is, with Lani being found lifeless, is she dead? It sounds dire, but hang on, not so fast. So then, spoilers for Thursday, July 27th, we see Abe waking up and Lani being forced to say goodbye. You could read that spoiler as a final farewell for Lani to her dead, like she has to say goodbye, like goodbye to her loved ones, because something fatal has happened to her that can't be stopped, but I don't think so. I think that is her saying goodbye to go back and finish her prison sentence so she can get out in 6 months. All right. We're going to tell you who we really think is the dead person in this equation and why. But first, if you haven't, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives updates. And we would love it if you clicked a like if you are enjoying this video. All right. So the very last person to discuss is low-rent soap actor Jerry Prentiss. He's the guy who's been pretending to be Theo, but then Abe saw Jerry in his little bit role on that awesome soap I think we all love, Body and Soul. So the week of July 17th, Jerry is going to tell John and Patch the truth. And you may remember that Whitley basically pointed Steve at Jerry and set him up to take the fall for her crime. So that's a big problem. And based on that, John and Patch go over to Jerry's apartment and they break in and they're rifling his stuff and they find some papers. So when confronted, it looks like Jerry will tell the truth and he will rat out Whitley and explain how she forced his hand. But beyond that, there are no more spoilers for Jerry. And it's just kind of interesting. I think there's a chance that she might kill Jerry in a way that could set him up to take the fall for her crimes. She already pointed them at Jerry, and maybe she's going to further set him up. And if it's not one of these four people, if it's not Abe, Whitley, Lani, or Jerry, then we have to wonder who it could be. If the spoiler just isn't accurate, if the leak isn't accurate, or if it's somebody not on our radar because they are part of another day's storyline. We will wait and see, but let us know who you want to see dead on Days.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.